Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the morning show. It is, shall we say, nippy Friday out there.
It's cold, yeah.
But better than yesterday, as luckily the snow kind of moved on, and it was a day.
It was kind of wild. It just came out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden, boom.
Just hit
4 inches of
everybody
snow.
by surprise, and
Yeah.
I know Liv was saying that where her fiance is working, like he called to see if he should report to work and they were like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "The snow." And they're like, "What are you?" Because he works away.
Yeah.
And they were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's kind of nasty here. So anyway,
We were supposed to have a meeting yesterday out at Canner's Cave.
Oh,
and
God.
They had 35 shut down right there in front of Canner's Cave.
Not
There was an
happening.
accident. And, we serve 10 counties. So we had to tell everybody in the 10 counties, like, don't come to Canner's Cave. And they're like, why?
why?
And like the issue was the eastern side, 35 was shut down, but they also closed Sour Run. So like the back way to get to Canners was
yeah.
They weren't
closed.
getting
So you
there.
literally could not
It
get there.
just was not happening.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. We had some poor delivery guys that got stuck all in that madness. I'm coming from Columbus or whatever. I'm like, I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. And you can't like easily go around in a big truck because the back roads are worse than the highway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a day, and I'm sure a day that a lot of our first responders and things like that would like to not have happen again.
Yes.
So, or anybody that got stuck in all the madness. So, but we have sunshine in the studio today because Maddie and Josh are here from OSU Extension, and we're going to do some fun stuff today and also find out what you all have coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Lots of fun coming up.
we're kind of
Yes.
putting this activity kind of similar to the weather that we have. So today we're going to be making winter bird feeders out of pine cones.
I love it.
So let me pull this apart. My hands are already
What
sticky
did
from the
you
pine
do?
cones.
I know
I've
he's got
messed
it all
it
tangled up.
You
This
ruined
is-
your pine cone already.
This is my test run. We're going to do this at an after school in Wellston coming up here next week. But the whole goal of it's to make a natural pine cone. So we've got it on a string. So all you have to do is go out if you've got any pine cones in your area, which there's a lot down. If you do have pine trees, there is a lot down. And all you have to do is collect them. I've got a bag of 50 pine cones sitting in my office. People walk in, they're like, "What's in the trash bag?" And it's pine cones. And they just look at me
and
and
they're like, never mind.
He just collects them.
I
He
have
just collects
pine cones. I've got a couple tubs of Crisco, and people are just like, "I'm not gonna ask questions."
Yeah, you're scaring me a little bit, buddy.
So yeah, today we're gonna do pine cones. So this is talking about winter feeding for birds. So how many bird seeds do you think birds can get today with all the snow and everything out? And
I'm
fact that they wanna get
guessing,
'em.
I mean, it would be very hard for them to forage and to find the stuff that they need to eat.
yeah.
So we need to help them, right?
That's the goal. So that's the goal, is to set out these bird feeders. But here's the first question I have for you. Do all the birds migrate?
I know the answer to this. No.
That's correct. So some do.
Only because we had a naturalist in here the other day and she was talking about it. So I cheated.
Yeah.
cheated.
Yeah.
So some birds, they can migrate up to thousands of miles. Some may just migrate a couple miles. Maddie was talking about, she has a 4-H book that we'll talk about here a little later on.
Yes.
And in it,
What
it
a
says
fun project.
some birds will migrate from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain.
And that's
So they do move, but
Okay.
some don't move certain places because they don't mind it.
They're not flying south for the winter. They're flying south for the winters like 50 feet.
Yeah.
Right. So
Gotcha.
they just flew down, not south.
Yeah.
So today we're going to be talking about using these pine cones. So the first thing we're going to do is we put it on a string. So I gave you guys strings. So if you want to take your pine cones.
Okay. So
And just
this seems
tie
like
a
one of
simple
those
knot.
things, if your string gets tangled up, the more you try to untangle it, the worse it's going to get. Oh, I have needles too, Maddie.
Ooh.
So this
It's
is
an extra bonus.
I know, there's a lot of little pine needles in mine.
Does it matter which direction we hang it?
so you want to hang it with the needles pointed up because
okay.
the seeds are going to get put
okay.
into those little areas.
So are we
If you do
tying
them
this-
upside down, it's going to be really hard for the seed to stick, and it's probably going to dump out on the floor.
Are
So you want
we
to put your pine cone with the needles pointed up in the air.
just tie like the string around the top of it?
Yep, just tie it in a knot. Whatever knot you want would work. Just as long as it's tight there, that's not going to fall.
Why am I struggling so hard with
because
this?
the string it's like.
And then once we get the knot, just so we don't have quiet time on the air, we're going to take Crisco. So this is a different type of choice that you can use. So today we're using Crisco because I didn't know if anybody in here had any peanut allergies. That's one thing when I go to the schools,
Right.
I'm really worried about having any type of reaction when we're trying to do a fun craft.
We're just excited we got the string tied. All right, we did it.
So we're going to be using Crisco today. So
But peanut butter would be a really good alternative if
Right.
you're not allergic to it.
So peanut butter, you want to make sure you get unsalted peanut butter, just as plain as you can get, because peanut butter provides that energy, that fat to the bird where it's going to be able to get that more protein, fat for the winter.
Okay.
Specifically for the Crisco, there's not much energy in this, but there is that fat into it. So they can take it up and eat it, but you want to do it in moderation. So that's why when we put it on here, we're not going to put a whole lot. If you do peanut butter, you can kind of spread it out just a little bit more, just because it's more healthy for the birds to eat.
And here's the thing, like I know if you don't spend a lot of time or you don't live out or whatever, pine cones might be one of those things that you're like, where do I find a pine cone? They're everywhere.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
if you can find a pine tree, just go underneath it and there's going to be like a bazillion pine cones
Yeah.
And
laying on the ground. You don't even have to pick them off.
Ask your friends. So I don't have a pine tree in my yard, but our office associate, Annie, she has a whole row of pine trees. And I was able to get a whole bag, like a trash bag full of 50 of them without walking more than 10 feet.
Yeah.
Like it's just pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
Yeah. Just
And
watch
I-
for ticks.
And I even got the specialty pine cones. I made sure they were all nice, all long. I have one that's probably about that long. that-
You are picky about your pine cones.
I sure am. You got to make sure that you're able to put the stuff into
He
it.
is a pine cone connoisseur,
All right.
if you will.
So the next thing that we're going to do is
Okay.
we are going to take our knives that we got here. And you
Okay.
just take your Crisco, probably just a little bit, because we're going to have to go in between and out the rows. Just try to slather it on there. Again, if you use Crisco, you might want to use it kind of light.
I'm assuming you want to put it like inside, right? Like not on
Right.
the outside.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of want to get it into the cup. So the pine cones have this little cup shape, and that's what's really going to hold the seeds. So Crisco is going to hold on to them, but the actual pine cone is going to
Get
hold
my
the seed
string
into
caught
it.
up in it.
So you just keep adding it to there.
Okay, so if you put the knife actually through
Yeah.
the little pine cone thingies, it'll go to the center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like spreading it on each one.
Yeah.
Another thing you can use, so if you don't want to use peanut butter and you don't want to use Crisco, you can use coconut oil. You just got to
Sure.
make sure it's cold enough, which outside that is no problem
That
today.
is not an issue.
So make sure it's cold enough where it's not going to turn solid.
Don't you love it when we come on your show and do arts and crafts?
I love it. It's so much fun because I'm not a crafty person.
So Maddie and I was talking about this earlier, and I don't know if I have the answer to this, but I wonder why birds go completely south. Like, what in their brain tells
How
them
did
to
they
go
find
south?
out that that's what they have to do?
Did your naturalist tell you that?
Is it
No.
just like
No.
thousands of years of evolution?
Yeah, I would assume that their little spidey sense tells them to go south. No, because she was talking about, she was leading the winter hike at Lake Catherine, and she was talking about the birds that you will be able to see, and it was like this past Sunday, because not all of them fly south for the winter.
Right.
So that's kind of what we were
So
talking
then
about.
let's pop quiz. Do you remember what kind of birds she told you that you could see?
No. Cardinals.
Yeah,
Cardinals is
are
one.
one. It says they know to migrate because of the changes in the daylight.
Interesting.
Oh.
But how do they know to go south? See if you can find that answer.
I think it's just what they know. It's just how they're
See,
wired.
my theory, and it's probably wrong, but my theory is it's natural selection. And some go north, and those ones are the silly gooses that don't make
Silly
it.
gooses.
They don't make it. The silly gooses, literally. I'm trying to think. There was one that had a funny name. Okay, I think I got it.
I think I've got mine too, Josh.
Maybe I'm just slow at putting this in there.
Whoa,
It
stop
looks like
spinning.
it's
You're
got
making me
snow
sick.
all through it.
It does.
Gotta spread mine out a little more. It's kind of clumpy.
So we've got cardinals, blue jays, we've got some owls, bald eagles. We've got all different types and sizes.
There were a couple of
coming
birds
through
you
here.
mentioned. One of them had a real funny name. I can't remember what it was called.
I think a lot of birds have funny names.
That is true. Because birds are just funny in general,
They
right?
are funny. We were talking off air beforehand about the new bird feeders that they have out with the cameras.
Yes, aren't they so fun?
And
to
how
like,
they're just funny to watch, you know. They're just funny to observe and see their little habits and the ways that they interact with each other. And
yeah. And I feel like just as, you know, I have the same deer I know that come in my yard every night or whatever because you get to like know their markings and everything. I'm sure that you get to know the birds that live at your house
Yeah,
too. And
absolutely.
I don't know, in some kind of human weird thing, you have this relationship with them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things in the 4-H book that talks about is whenever you set out bird feeders, you want to do it typically in the fall, just because that's when the birds are actively looking, scavenging.
Sure.
And once you set it out, make sure that you keep filling it up all spring because they start to become reliant on it. So they know where the food
Yeah,
source is.
like
They're going to
you-
continuously.
We create
there with
them,
them.
Yeah.
like we create their little habitat, so you got to be there for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
if you start setting out birdseed in the fall and then you don't set it out all winter, they don't have access to food in the
and
winter.
that's the point.
Yeah, yeah.
is they don't need your help in the summer.
Yeah. No, they don't. Nope.
So what we see now here, it just looks like a pine cone with snow on it.
It
so
does look like.
looks
Oh,
like
wait,
a
my
little
needles are stuck. There we go.
festive area. So once you take this, if you've got pine trees, you can just tie this to a pine tree. But first, we need to add our bird seed to it. Oh, I'm spilling bird seed everywhere.
Don't
this
you
is a
love
bag
it
of
when we come in and
bricks,
make a mess?
But it's a green bag.
It does look like a bag of bricks.
And this is one specifically. It's a nut-free one, but you can have nuts into it. Like we said, nuts are a very good source of energy for our birds. And what we're doing is we're just taking this and we're just putting it on a plate, trying to make it as least messy as we can.
Sorry. We also come in on this show and love to make a mess in your facility.
It's okay. We
our
love that.
Favorite thing to do is just
You know
mess
what I'm
everything
thinking
up.
too? You could actually tie several pine cones together
Yeah.
Probably.
and make like a cute little
Yeah.
like display.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this bird seed specifically, it has a couple ingredients in it. The first one's called millet, and it's one that's going to be very high in carbohydrates.
Should've got a little cup.
And it's going to be high in protein. So it's going to add those carbs, that energy the bird needs. And it's
Okay.
going to be these little kind of like whitish tan ones. So if you look there, there's a whitish tan color. That's going to be what that one is.
Okay.
The next one that's going to be in those common is going to be Milo, and it's going to be these brown circles in there. So it's kind of like a medium size.
Yeah.
So we've got a
there's all
medium
different
size right
sizes.
here. And then the next one is going to be obviously your sunflower seeds. I'm sure everybody's seen sunflower seeds, and this is also very high in that energy, that protein for the bird.
There's
So-
some cracked corn in there too, a little bit. I've got some, don't I? Stray piece there.
Yeah, you got a stray piece of corn in there. So,
So are we just sprinkling this on here?
yep, sprinkling it on there, rolling it around. But my next question to you, Jen, is
Yeah.
why do we have multiple sizes of seeds?
In our
Okay.
little mixy mix here.
Well, is it because there's different sizes of birds?
Correct. So we have multiple sizes of birds, and they have multiple sizes of beaks. So some birds can eat things more easily than others. We've actually done an activity with the Active Day group there in Wellston, and we call it, it's like a bird feeding game. So we fill up a little kiddie pool full of different size objects like little cotton balls, marbles, different
Ping
size
pong
things.
balls,
And we make them pick it up with like a spoon, chopsticks, different types of things. And they go through it and they're like, why are we doing this? And we explain, well, birds have different sized beaks. So some things are a lot easier for them to eat, and then some things are a lot harder for others to eat. So we go through that whole process and talk a little bit about them and have some fun to it.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to just
So yeah, there
quit
are.
being so dainty about this.
Yeah, you just gotta get it in there a little bit. So yeah, there's lots of birds with lots of different size beaks. That's a lesson that's also in our 4-H book here. So if you're not familiar, something that I really like to try and let people know is that 4-H is not just your livestock at the county fair. right?
Exactly.
There's so much more to 4-H and learning through 4-H. And there is a 4-H project for just about every single child's interest. And one of those being bird watching and learning about Ohio's birds. And so one of the projects that youth can take, it's actually a 2-year project, so they can take it for 2 years in a row and continue learning, is a 4-H project called Ohio Birds. And so here's kind of the project book. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it actually kind of looks like a coloring book.
It does.
If you kind of can see it. And so throughout this project book, they learn all different things about the different kinds of birds in Ohio. You can kind of see they've got some pictures in here. There are tips about bird feeding and different bird feeders that you can use, activities on building bird feeders like this activity
fun.
here. There's lots of things in this book talking about habitats and what is a habitat, bird nests, and identifying like, okay, you found an egg that's fallen out of the nest.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah, because we've all done that.
Yeah.
You know.
So a lot of things like that. Looking at birds' colors, of course, different beak shapes.
Well, and I think that's cool too because, you can get a bird book, but if it's not specific to your area, I mean, let's just be honest, certain birds live in certain areas.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you're kind of, in a way, wasting your time or whatever. If you're,
Absolutely.
if there's a bird that lives in Central Park in New York, which, I mean, that would be cool to see, but, it doesn't have anything to do with what we have here.
Here in Ohio to observe. Yeah. So it talks specifically about observing birds and bird watching and kind of what to do. It talks to them about, working with organizations like the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and different, protecting endangered species, organizations that kind of look out for that, and then how to report sightings and things like that. So it's a really neat project for kids that
I think that's incredible.
Yeah, interested in fields like working in the division, Department of Natural Resources, or maybe a wildlife officer or something like that. It's a really cool kind of book that introduces some of those concepts to youth that might get them interested in kind of going into that sort of workforce, which I think is really neat.
And here's the thing. You're not, livestock projects, let's just be honest, cost a lot of money.
They do, yeah.
And a lot of work and a lot of whatever. This is, you come, you join 4-H, you get your book, and
you do the activities.
You're not really out anything other than the project itself, your time.
Maybe building a bird or a birdhouse or a feeder or something like that,
Sure.
There are some activities in there where it encourages you to take pictures. So maybe if you have a cell phone or a camera. But for the most part, 4-H is a very affordable program to be a part of. And so there's kind of room for everybody.
There is.
To be a part of 4-H and to explore something that they're interested in. And so if your child is interested in something niche, there is, trust me, I promise you, a 4-H project that your child can be involved with. And then there's literally a program in 4-H called Self-Determined, that if that niche project isn't available, you can quite literally make up your own project.
Then you create it yourself, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, all right, Josh, I've got mine covered in birdseed.
Yep.
I
So
think
this
we
is
did
what's
really
going to
well.
end with it.
Yeah.
So we've got a pine cone covered with birdseed, and this will probably last maybe a couple of days. So this is one where if you got a bunch of different pine cones, maybe getting a bunch of pine cones, putting a big old tote with birdseed in it, and just rolling them around.
That's what I'm thinking. If you could just literally just throw the cones in there and shake them up, and that would be.
And then once they clear one cone, you can take it out to the next one. They can become reliant, and you can see the same birds coming day after day, coming to get their fix for their seed.
You could probably reuse a cone a couple of times too if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you wanted to,
depending
just
on what
untie
they
it,
do to it.
put it right back into it, roll it around again.
Yeah.
So this is a good reusable way if you didn't want to buy a bird feeder, or if you just want something to supplement your bird feeder, something to look cool. So we're going to get kids involved with this here upcoming next week.
Another thing, though, about some of the bird feeders that you find in stores is people forget that you should clean them. And so especially, if they have plastic parts, maybe water, gets in there, or after a while, that's their food source, right? They directly consume.
I mean, none of us want to eat mold or mildew or whatever.
So this is a great way that's kind of more natural to kind of help those birds not be reliant on something that's a little more natural rather than maybe something that's a little more unnatural. But also, just reminding ourselves that if we do put up something like that, we have to clean it. We have to be responsible for that. Good, caretakers and stewards of our
Yes.
wildlife, especially like hummingbird
Hummingbirds
feeders. Yes.
are a big thing.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a great alternative. Maybe if you're someone like me who gets very busy and is forgetful, it's not that big of a deal if it gets left up hanging on a branch because it's pretty natural. It's just some string and a pine
No,
cone.
I love that. And you know what else I just feel like in a way number one, this is just a fun project you could do with your kids or whatever, especially like on a day like yesterday where you're like
on a snow day and you're looking for something to do.
But you're teaching kindness also. Like you're teaching, we're helping the environment. We're helping these birds survive the winter.
Absolutely.
We don't want to be outside in it. I'm sure they don't either.
Absolutely.
Yep. Just like other animals, I was reading, they're talking about flying squirrels and where they go typically during the winter, and they get into a tree cavity. So they pile in 5, 10 of different ones. And they all just live in that tree cavity until it's kind of warm for them to get back out.
I hope they like their friends.
Yeah.
It's very. I wouldn't want to do that.
That would be a lot of togetherness, wouldn't it?
You locked me up into this room with 20 people. Nope,
He says, no, thank you.
Nope, I'm good. But yeah, this is an activity, and like I said, if you love birds, it seems like people who are interested in birds are very interested in birds.
They're very passionate.
There's like
Very.
I think of my cousin Alex whenever I talk about birds.
Shout out
and
Alex.
Hi, Alex. He is all into birds. He travels the United States every once in a while just to look at birds. And I'm like, I mean, you can look at other things. He's like, nope, birds. He's like, I'm out in the swamp, my camera, and he just waits for him.
Fun fact, our head brewer at Sixth Sense went to college for birds.
Oh,
I
yeah?
love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
Grant.
So we'll have to have Grant build us a little.
Yeah, that was
Bird
his.
guy.
He's like Bruce Beer. Fun fact about Grant also is Grant has severe celiac disease.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bruce beer.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Isn't that a hoot? We should have him in sometime. It's a hoot.
I'd like to hear that
That's
story.
funny
Yeah.
why he chose that career.
Is he just like making things?
He just. Yeah, I mean, he just loves the brewing process, and he's like nerdy like that.
Yeah.
And
It's very science based.
it's
Yeah.
so brewing beer is it's very both. It's very creative and it's very science based. So you
Yeah.
have to be both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
To do so, because you almost have to have like a culinary background, and then you have to have all the nerdy science stuff too. But yeah, so he can just like taste it and spit it out. He can't like drink.
I don't think we can talk about brewing beer at science camp.
Probably
I
not.
don't think that's a topic that we can do at STEM camp, but
Although I did do a presentation at the middle school about not necessarily brewing, but the just the business.
yeah.
And one of my girlfriends is a teacher there. She said one of the kids came back and said, "I want to own a brewery when I grow up." I thought that was really cute.
I love it. Yeah, that
So,
is very cute.
Yeah, you can talk to him
teaching-
about that aspect of it.
Teaching youth all about owning, businesses and being
Yes.
self-starters. That's what I'm all about. I love it.
All right.
But,
So
yeah.
let's wrap this activity up. So we got a plastic bag. We can just put this in. Ideally, at the house, you don't have to put it in a plastic bag. You don't have to use plastic. But odds are is when I take this to the school, they will appreciate me giving them a bag. So it doesn't go all over the school bus.
You don't, or your car.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I did an activity with them, and it was talking about the water cycle. And it was just putting like beads on a string, and how many
honey.
times the beads just like went loose and bouncing everywhere. And I was like, guys, do not pull on them. Don't yank them. Don't break them on the bus because I won't be coming back.
Because
I would
be
get in
fired
trouble.
from
They'd say,
arts
we
and
don't
crafts."
need your services anymore. I just instant panic. I was like, oh no, that was a bad decision.
We have those every now and then. It's okay.
That 4-H guy.
Yep, it's part of it. We go into a school and we made lava lamps one time.
I was going to say, we did that here.
Yeah, we made lava lamps, and it was really great. They had a really fun time, and I love activities that the kids get a little messy. I feel like, especially nowadays, we don't let kids get
It's kids
messy.
being kids.
Yeah. We just don't give them that space much anymore, and so
Right.
I have no problem wiping down tables and all of that stuff just to let them have fun. But I did tell them, if I find out from a bus driver, from a teacher, that those lava lamps ended up on the floor of the bus or, on the floor of the school.
Poured on your friend's head or
I said,
something.
We will never do another 4-H activity and after school again. And they all went,
We'll sit here in silence and
so
talk.
hopefully I got
We
through.
will do algebra for 2 hours.
Maybe not algebra. I'm not very mathematically inclined.
That's what I make my fertilizer recertification do. We do a lot of math.
Oh, yeah.
They don't typically like me at the end of the hour.
I'll bet. I can imagine. I wouldn't like you either.
So, just...
Very cool.
Yeah.
No, this is great. And then, it's just such a fun...
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah. No,
It's
no.
just something that you can do.
Yeah.
So
Just
even
be
if
nice
you've
to
got
the environment.
Even if you got young kids who don't have that attention span, it's something you can whip out, do in about
very
5
quick.
minutes.
Yep.
If they get bored with one, have them do another. Just keep having them scoop the things into the whatever it is, peanut butter, Crisco.
And then they
They'll keep
can,
going.
watch for birds and keep track and identify, what they're looking for, what they're seeing. So it's just a really fun, thing that you can do at home with your kiddos. Even in a classroom with your kiddos. If you've, something like that. Hang them out in the
great.
trees. Just lots of really fun ways that you can do this with kids. Or even if you're an adult, you can do this at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
it's
So
fun.
just some 4-H-y things on my end. Like I said, there's the Ohio Birds 4-H project. So if you do have a kid that's
Great
interested,
idea. I think that would be so fun. And even as a supplement to another, even if you do take like a livestock project or sewing or something like that, that would be so fun just to do.
Just something simple. It just walks kids through, identifying birds, how to be, good stewards of our wildlife, activities like this. This is a really cool project that kids can take. But we also have lots of other projects kind of in this realm. We've got one about ponds. We've got one about fishing. We've got lots of natural resource projects. So if you have a kid that's interested in wildlife and in being outdoors, we literally have a project called Explore the Outdoors. And it talks about identifying leaves or plants and wildlife. And it's just kind of this all-encompassing, really cool project. And so 4-H is that space, I think, for kids to explore those interest areas. And then in turn kind of start thinking about how they can utilize those skills into adulthood, which I think is very cool.
Sure, maybe it turns into a career. Maybe it turns into a fun hobby. Whatever.
Absolutely.
But again, the thing I love so much about 4-H, I know you probably get tired of me barking about this when you come in here, but it is like I just feel like one of the few things that kids can do now where they can be kids.
Yes, yeah.
You know what? If you're in the barn and you're dirty and muddy and whatever, cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome.
Junior Fair Board, they really want to do mud volleyball at the fair. They want to do mud volleyball, and you know what? I'm for it. Let's have fun. Let's be kids, right? Let's just have a good time.
Great. Did I told you about? I don't want to put any ideas in people's heads, but no. When I was in 4-H and coming up, every Saturday that the fair ended, I don't know what the schedules are now, but it was like everybody came and went all at the same time.
Yeah.
So Saturday, you're just loading up your livestock, our horses and stuff like that. Well, before though, anybody that was left over would get in a ginormous water fight.
Oh my goodness.
And just like ginormous advisors, everybody. Well, then they tried to shut it down for a few years because it was wasting water and I don't know why they would want to shut it down. It's a water fight. It's fun.
Yeah.
And finally they gave up because we just did it anyway. So it would just Saturday, early afternoon would just become this ginormous water fight on the fairgrounds.
Fairgrounds-wide water fight.
Yes.
I love it. That's hilarious.
It was so fun. And like I said, the adults would get in on it.
Yeah.
And you could, it was just a hoot.
That's kind of, what you said there. That's one of my favorite things about 4-H is, we have 125 adult volunteers in this county that, give back to these kids in various ways through the 4-H program and the Junior Fair program. And they get into it. A lot of them, they act like a kid again and they have fun with these kids. They play games at their club meetings and, it's just so fun to watch these adults interact with these kids and just in the name of positive youth development, which is really fun. And so I sent a couple of flyers about 4-H enrollment.
Okay.
This year we are doing our annual 4-H open house again. Our enrollment. Yes, our enrollment deadline is April 1st. So up on the screen there's my info. So if you have questions about getting your child involved in 4-H, you can always shoot me an email or give me a call. The best place to start is to find a club. So have your kid reach out to their friends. Are they already involved in a club? Do you know any of these names that are on our club list there? And so the first place to start is to find a club. Find somebody that you know that's involved already and join their club.
And some clubs are kind of specific to certain projects too, which is helpful.
Yeah, we have a shooting sports club. We have a dog club. We have several clubs that are involved in horses specifically.
Can you be a member of a couple of clubs?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
Yeah,
I wondered about
Yep,
that.
absolutely. You can join multiple clubs if you want. And so, the first step is really to join a club, to find a club, figure out when their next meeting is, and kind of start with a club. And then that club's advisor will kind of take you under their wing from there and kind of let you know next steps and that sort of thing. So if you are having trouble finding a club or just need connected with somebody, I usually have a list of clubs that let me know, hey, we need some new members every year. So if you call my office, I can send you that club's way. But
I still think we need to do adult 4-H.
Yeah. Well,
That's what volunteering is.
Adult 4-H is being a volunteer. That's exactly what it is. So if you miss 4-H, if you want to be involved in 4-H, we are seeking adult volunteers. Volunteer training is typically in January and February.
Okay.
So if you're interested in being a volunteer, you can reach out to me too, and we can walk you through those steps in that process. But another great way to kind of explore 4-H and see what 4-H is about is our annual open house. So I'm starting to kind of push that now and promote that now. That's in March. And so it's a free event. It's at the fairgrounds. There's animals and snacks and prizes and all kinds of just really, really great things. And we have every single project that you can explore in 4-H available there for you to look at. So in the project books.
That's a lot of projects.
It is a lot, over 200. So you can go through table to table. Each table is kind of a category, natural resources or gardening or clothing. And you can kind of look through the projects from there. So if you're interested in getting your kid involved, we usually have clubs there that night that it's accepting new members, and you can get connected with them.
Love that.
So definitely the open house, that's a really great event that we put on every year. And that's what I've got. I think just some other things coming up. If you are a teen involved, you don't have to be involved in 4-H. If you're just a teen that wants to do something fun, we do our annual Teen Winter Retreat out at Canner's Cave. That's open to any teen in the county. You do not have to be involved in 4-H.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so we do winter hikes, we play games, we stay up all night and have a fun time. And so Teen Winter Retreat, that's February 7th and the 8th. So if you're interested in sending your teen to Teen Winter Retreat, please reach out to me. There's a registration. But it is a really fun event. If there's snow on the ground, we go sledding sometimes. It's just really fun. So
cool.
But yeah, I think that's really all I've got. But if you're interested in kind of staying connected with what's going on in the 4-H world here in Jackson County, I do have a monthly newsletter you can check out. You can always email me, check our Facebook page, and that sort of thing. So.
And then I've got a couple of things. So we're trying to start a new program here in Jackson County called the Master Gardener Volunteer Program.
You needed something else to do.
I just needed to add something else. I was getting kind of bored.
That's great.
Too much chaos. But so what the Master Gardener Volunteer Program is, it's a program where anyone who's interested in gardening, you don't have to know a whole lot in gardening. You just come, you sign up, and we train you. So you go through Ohio State University training. So there's actually a whole training. It usually takes around 40 to 50 hours to complete all the training. And it used to be right.
So you're not going somewhere and sitting for 40 hours
no.
straight.
Right.
Okay.
This is over a year or two.
Yep. So this
Okay.
training it's a lot, and that's usually with the hard part of getting people to commit, because they're like, that's a lot of training. I don't know if I can do it. Well, now they do it online too. So we have an online option where if you're interested, we can sign you up with an online, take the training online. And like I said, this is a new program in Jackson, so I don't really know how we're going to schedule everything, but I think I want to do it like a book club. So give everybody access to the training, and then come in one evening of the night, and we just talk about that chapter, go over the chapter, and then you go through that whole training process.
So it's not like you're not going through hours of training at a time, because I feel like that's just really hard for people to commit to.
Right. So the in-person one, sometimes it can be 3, sometimes it can be 6, but this online option allows you to be more flexible. So you can do it all on your own time. And then if you want to come up, build that community, meet with everybody, talk about if you had any questions. ask the questions, and we as a group, we figure it out. And then once you complete training, you become an intern. So you're a Master Gardener intern. You have to do 1 whole year of volunteer work. So going out in your community and encouraging people to do gardening, but also teaching them. So working with your local libraries. I know there's a local youth garden that's starting to open up. So maybe doing some programs
Here?
there.
Yeah.
So there's one
Where's
that's...
that?
It's on the corner of Gay and Huron on Melanie Goebel.
Yeah,
at the high school.
Melanie.
Yeah, Melanie. So Melanie's...
She happens to be a bartender.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so Melanie is
amongst
working
other things
with has a name I can't remember, the environmental club at the high school.
Yep.
Yeah, so she works with that group, and then just giving kids the opportunity to explore gardening, and they're thinking about putting in like a pollinator habitat, maybe some honeybees, just different things like that, to kind of encourage kids, especially young people, to be involved with gardening. So Extension, we're happy to kind of be a part of that with her and help her in that, and I think Master Gardeners will really play a large part of that project.
Right.
If you haven't met Mel, she's a really cool.
She's
human.
amazing. Yeah,
she was
she's
just here
awesome.
the other day actually on the
Really?
show,
Yeah.
but for Rotary. But
Yeah,
she is a really cool person.
Yeah.
But Master Gardeners would be a program where
Love
they can
that.
go out and they can help try just to building up that our community support,
Yeah.
teaching people how to garden, being sustainable, anything under the sun. So we do a lot of training for that.
How do
They
you
kinda
sign
go
up?
out. So on that sheet, there was a QR code. There's also a link. We sent out an interest form, and we had to have a minimum of 10 people fill it out. I currently have 16, so we're already past
Okay.
our minimum.
Good deal.
So I'm leaving that up until the end of January, so February 1st. So if you're interested, go to that link, scan the QR code, give me a call at the Extension office if you're interested, and I can give you more information. And then once February comes around, we have to do like a whole interview process. So you come in, tell me why you want to be a Master Gardener, fill out some forms, and then we can get you access to the training and stuff. So there's typically a cost to it because like we do have that materials that we got to print off and get to you. So the cost is somewhere, I still got to get a final answer, but somewhere around $150 to $200. And you have to have a background check. So you have to go through the background check just because you might be working with kids, and we want to make
Yeah,
sure
that makes
that the kids are safe as well if there's any program that we take you to.
Just like our 4-H volunteers go through an application and screening process, so do Master Gardener volunteers, because they do often find themselves working in school systems, with 4-H youth also, and youth gardening programs and things like that.
Makes total sense.
Yep.
So we're trying to start that up. Hopefully we can get it up and rolling by spring and get the
Yeah,
trainings
love
out
that.
and
Yeah.
get some volunteers out. Hopefully by fall, if they can complete the training by the summer, get them started in the fall and start moving out. I know we have the Pike County and Scioto County Master Gardener group. They're a small but mighty group. They were just formed a couple of years ago. And they've been doing some great work over there. So I'm excited to bring that over here.
I mean, I just think for the personal knowledge of knowing,
Yeah.
that stuff
Right.
would be great.
Yeah, when you become a certified Master Gardener, I mean, that comes with some weight, right? Like it comes with that knowledge and that wisdom about, growing food, and I see a lot of cut flowers and just all kinds of things, which is really cool. So they come with that wisdom of growing those things.
Let's just be honest. Like, how hard is the program? Like, I mean, is it like,
are
we mathing here, or are we?
there's a lot of science to it. So it's kind of like taking a low-level college class. That's how I would like to describe it. So you go through that whole class, and at the very end, you take a test. So like you do have to go through the training, read the material. So you do have to do the work, but if you do the work, you should have all the information you need to know to go in and pass
If
the
you're
test.
interested, if you're passionate, if this is something that you care about.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But that getting that certification, right? You're becoming certified in something, right? To be able to teach something. So it does kind of come with some of that proving that you earned that certification in a way.
And I love that. And I also love, because knowledge is power, right? So I love the fact that even if you don't, I mean, we would love for you to do that and volunteer and all that stuff, but I mean, no one can take that from you once
Right.
you know that,
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
And this kind of helps me out just because like my position's agriculture and natural resources. So I cover a wide variety. So if I can get a group of like 10 to 20 people who are very knowledgeable about gardening, we can spread them out. So we can hit Jackson, Oak Hill, Wellston, do as many programs as we want. And it just benefits the community in general.
I think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
The
deal.
only other thing I have is our Farmers Club. They're meeting, not next Monday because that's the College Football National Championship, and I'm a nerd about that. And it's Martin Luther King Day, so we'd be off.
That would be the worst idea ever.
Yeah. So this will be on the 26th, so the last Monday of the month. We have Ashley Dawson. She's coming down. She works with Cooper Hollow out there, and she's a wildlife consultant for the USDA Natural Resources with Wildlife. So she's going to come down and talk a little bit about habitat management, how some farmers can help play a role in some of the programs they have. They have a new program that helps encourage the growth of those different habitats. So kind of what we did here about feeding them, they're building the habitats to feed those larger birds, kind of like quail, turkeys. I think that's the gist of that program. So we have her coming and talking. So if you're interested, feel free to give us a call and come out to Farmers Club.
And how do you, is Farmers Club something that you can just come to one thing or whatever,
Yep.
or do you have to like join and it's a whole situation?
Nope. So essentially what Farmers Club is, they're just a group that meets every single week. They welcome anyone, or every month. We welcome
Every week would be
week,
a bit
no.
of a commitment,
Every month
especially
they-
if you're a farmer.
Every month they come in and they just have an educational topic, kind of just to build community, get to know each other, learn something, and then they go home. So if there's topics that you're not interested in, you don't have to come every single month.
Okay.
You can just come to the ones you want. And like I said, it's just an open program to the whole
To anybody.
Right.
Every month, every meeting, they typically have a small meal. So there might be, if you pay $5 or $10, you can eat just to help cover the cost of the meal. But that's about it, right?
So yeah, the meal, there's a small cost to it, but you don't have to come for the meal. If you come for the program's always free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are just always so much fun.
Yeah. We love coming on the show, and we appreciate you guys giving Extension kind of a monthly spot on the show.
Absolutely. Well, I think it works both ways because we enjoy having you here and finding out what the kids are doing and what you all are doing. And, again, I just think 4-H is just amazing. And if your kid's not participating in it, they're missing out.
Yeah.
Yep, we got to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to take
Yeah.
some kids up to Columbus for the OFMA conference,
Yep,
so the
Junior
Ohio
Fair
Fair
Board.
Managers Conference.
Yeah.
Fun.
So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow at 5 a.m. So
Yeah, we've got, I think, 7 or 8 Junior Fair Board members going to go up there. And OFMA, it's our Senior Fair Board's up there now. They're up there kind of all weekend, learning how to make our fair better. But then Junior Fair Board goes up just on Saturday. And it's kind of Junior Fair Day. And so it's a really cool event. They go up and talk to different vendors and just learn about operating and running a county fair, which is a really cool opportunity for them. So
Yes, it
But it's
is.
early morning. It's very early morning.
That's very early. Yes. Yes, it is. Godspeed.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. All right. Well, thank you so much. And, don't forget, this is an easy craft you can do with the kids, and you're helping your bird friends out along the way. So
Yeah.
that's a really good thing.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Of course, anytime. Come back anytime. All right, well, I'll tell you what, Pete Wilson just walked in. He has his red shirt on, so we all know what that means today. And we do have a couple of messages here, and we'll be back in just a moment with Pete and some news.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and did you see my pine cone bird feeder?
Oh my! Did they make that
We made it today on the show.
on the show?
Yeah.
How artsy of you!
I know.
I'm glad you didn't call me in here to try to put that thing together.
Hey, it was easy. If I can do it, you can do it.
I like the end product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Very nice. So
Yeah.
is that decor? Is that what that
No,
is?
it's for birds.
Oh,
to feed
okay.
them.
Oh, well, I really like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It's
How
for our
natural.
little bird friends.
What
Exactly.
what a natural way. They'll like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, you are here with some news, and you have your red shirt on, so we all know what that means as well. So we'll let you go
Right.
to it.
Well, the weather, even though it's still cold, has let up and up. I'm sure we will have school and basketball. I know we have school, so therefore we'll have basketball. And tonight, the Jackson Ironmen on a hot streak, 10-1.
Yes, they are.
Boy, I tell you what, the 1927 Yankees, one of the best baseball teams in history. You've probably heard of them. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, they were an offensive machine, one of the greatest of all time. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig was on that. They had their lineup was called Murderers Row because of how good they were. Hitters and home runs and all like that. Well, the Jackson Ironmen, this phrase has been coined about them in this run of the schedule they have, a murderer's row. There was Wheelersburg, there was Washington Courthouse. Tonight there's Chillicothe, then there's Washington Courthouse again, and then there's the team that beat them, Miami Trace, the next Friday. So they have had some tremendous challenges, and so far they've won all their games except that first game back at the early in the season at Miami Trace. So tonight, the Chillicothe Cavaliers come immensely talented team.
Yes, they are.
They've lost several games. They're in third place behind Jackson and Miami Trace in the conference standings, and they have to win if they're going to have any chance for the league championship. So the Ironmen, after beating Wheelersburg, who was undefeated before by 10 points last Tuesday, they better be ready this Friday, tonight, to play Chillicothe. So that's tonight at Jackson. Of course, I think all of our local teams are in action, and so between the radio and some streaming, lots to look forward to there. Okay, so we get to the regular news now, and we have quite a bit to tell you about. One of the things we want to tell you about is, of course, yesterday, we had the snow squalls and the ice and all like that. We talked a little bit on the front end of that here on TV. Since then, we've compiled some statistics about how bad it was. But I think the lead story now has become the injury to Liberty Township volunteer Assistant Fire Chief Larry Foster.
Poor
now,
guy.
we're not absolutely sure this is the accident scene. This is one of the accident scenes out there at one of the places where there were snow-related and ice-related, squall-related crashes. We think that this is on U.S. Route 35 west of Jackson, where there was a major pileup of vehicles and then traffic delays that resulted because of the highway being blocked from early in the morning, really deep into that day.
It was a mess.
In the westbound lanes especially. But this was the accident where Larry was hurt occurred early in the morning, pre-dawn, and this may have been the site. We know that this was posted by the Jackson Fire Department along with information about what happened to Larry. They posted some information late last night. We knew a firefighter had been injured. We didn't know which firefighter and how bad. But what we know now is from information released by some fire departments concerned about Larry, not from the patrol. They had so many wrecks yesterday.
Oh my
They're still
gosh.
working on official reports. But what we do know is that Larry, as the Assistant Fire Chief for Liberty Township, was out on this scene on U.S. Route 35, just west of Jackson near the Lloyds Bridge Road intersection. He was standing alongside of the road. A pickup truck hauling a trailer was coming from the direction where the traffic was parked. The fire trucks were parked. It hit one of the Liberty Township fire trucks, a smaller fire truck, like a pickup truck or something. Hit the pickup truck. The pickup truck was knocked into Larry, who was standing along the side of the road there. He sustained what were thought to be serious injuries, and indeed, he was taken to Holzer Medical Center. From there, immediately to Grant Medical Center in Columbus. And we have received unconfirmed, but what we think is reliable information, that he will undergo surgery for injuries to his knee and ankle.
Yeah.
So it
Some
could be a
leg
fracture
injuries.
involved
Yeah.
or something like that, but certainly serious. Several of the fire departments have posted information acknowledging, reporting this incident, but more than anything else, asking for prayers for
Sure.
Larry. Larry, of course, well known. He has been on the fire department for years and years. He is the son of the late Bob Rice, who started the Liberty Township Fire Department, and so it became a family thing for him. He has been involved for a long time, decades, of course, and he is currently the assistant fire chief there. Still goes out on calls. He is in his 70s now, but still service-oriented. Of course, well-known also as being the longtime general manager for the Jackson County.
Mr. Jackson County Water.
To the Jackson County Water Company, and also one of the pillars of the Christ Church of Jackson, too. Just an all-around great guy, for sure, and everybody is concerned about him, and we certainly will be monitoring that and praying for his recovery. And we're following this on the newspaper side, and of course, you know, we do the news through the radio, and we'll put things on social media. As soon as we find out more about Larry, we'll certainly let you know. But we do know he's in Grant Medical Center, most likely undergoing surgery, maybe as we speak.
Sending you all the best.
Right, absolutely. But as far as some volume, we couldn't talk about this yesterday because it was still happening. There were wrecks being reported really all through the morning, maybe into the afternoon.
This is what happens when you have no idea that this weather's coming.
Right.
It's like
well,
crazy.
Exactly. It did catch a lot of people off guard, but some of them happened before the so-called snow squall hit in the early morning hours after daylight. So some of the wrecks out on 35 and 32 were pre-dawn. And
was
so,
it an ice situation or what?
yeah, there was. We presume that there must have been an ice situation. Remember, we had rain the previous day, and then the temperature really
Yeah.
dropped during the day on Wednesday, and so then the snow squall hit between 7 a.m. and into the mid-morning hours,
Oh,
and that
gosh.
caused problems. You know, you drove in from Standpipe
Yes.
Road, and that visibility problems and heavy snow, blowing snow, caused some people to pull off the road or whatever. But the patrol, as of 1:40 yesterday, and so, you know, the numbers are not up to date, the patrol itself, now maybe they didn't investigate every crash, but they reported 31 different wrecks that occurred, or
Whoa.
31 calls for assistance, 10
Wow.
of which involved, let's see, so I say this right, 10 of the crashes required crash reports due to injury or damage. The rest were vehicles needing assistance that were stranded or stuck in the road. So 31 total, 10 that involved injuries or damage. So, you know, that's quite a bit.
That's a lot.
In a period of maybe 6 to 8 hours.
Yep.
So we have compiled all this information together. We just updated it again, and we will be posting that online. We've already had 2 stories online, but we will post an updated story online, what we know about Larry, and you can look for especially a complete story later in the day online and in our print edition on Saturday, pulling all of this together, what we do know. So another thing that happened last night, just after midnight, and this is a scary situation, didn't turn out to be bad at all, but man, it could have been. What's one of the worst places for a fire to break out?
Like a mobile home?
That's one. How about a nursing home?
Oh,
Right.
you're kidding.
No, we had a fire last night at Edgewood Manor in Wellston.
Oh my gosh.
That's on Park Avenue there on the city's north
Yeah.
side. Don't have a picture to show you from that, but we did get a report from the Wellston Fire Department. And what happened just after midnight? Let's see, the time was 12:45 a.m. A nurse that was on duty noticed smoke in one of the hallways.
Oh my.
So the fire department was called. The Wellston Fire Department was called. They were there within 5 minutes. They got mutual aid from Colton, Hamden, and Jackson in this wonderful mutual aid system. You know,
Yes.
that's been in. You know, all the fire departments are busier now, but everybody is safer because they have this
Yep.
system. They don't have to wait for somebody to call and say, "Hey, come, we need you." You automatically come, and then they can call you off. It works that way. But anyway. About 23 firefighters total were there fairly quickly.
You can't mess around with that.
No, you certainly cannot. You know, you have residents that, you know, are disabled, can't help themselves. but they moved it was confined to one room and one wing, and they moved the residents to a part of the facility behind fire-resistant doors. So
Okay.
they were safe. They didn't have to take them outside or move them somewhere else. But in that one room, there was a malfunction in one of the fans and vents. There was a fire there, which they did put out with just a water can. They didn't have to drag a heavy hose in there or break through a window or anything.
Okay.
They were able to put the fire out. Did cause some damage in that one room in the ceiling. They tore out the ceiling and insulation to make sure there wasn't fire up in the ceiling. And they were able to have everything under control fairly quickly.
Good.
The residents, I'm not sure they all returned to that wing just because of the odor and whatever, but damage was estimated to be, and you know, this is just a rough estimate because, you know, they're not property people, but they always do an estimate, $3,500 worth of damage, but no injuries.
Hey.
No injuries to residents, staffers,
Exactly.
or firefighters. And so all that occurred just after midnight today, as a matter of fact.
That could have been really bad.
Absolutely, it could have been, but once again, a great response there and a very scary situation. Turns out pretty good considering, you know, no injuries at all there. Okay, well, big sports news from down in Oak Hill we want to tell you about. Weston Hale is the current girls basketball coach at Oak Hill. There he is. You can see his shirt there, Lady Oaks Basketball. He's going to be wearing a new shirt come pretty soon, probably by the summertime. It's going to say Oak Hill Oaks head football coach.
Oh.
At the last school board meeting earlier in the week, Weston was hired to be the new boys varsity head football coach. And as you know, Oak Hill has had some struggles in recent years, having enough players out, having to play really tough competition, having to basically rebuild the program, had several different coaches. The coach from this past year, Jason Fitzhugh, was not rehired, and instead they hired Weston Hale. Now, for the uninformed, the Hale name means something in Oak Hill
Yes, it
if you're
does.
sports. Weston, first of all, for the 2009 or 2010 football team, I know he played multiple years, but in that era, Oak Hill had some really good football teams, went deep into the playoffs. He was on one of those teams and was a star running back. All right. He, of course, is the son of Mike Hale, who was an outstanding athlete of his own right. He is the nephew of Doug Hale, whose name is synonymous with athletic accomplishment in Oak Hill, football, basketball, everything. And so Weston has agreed to take on the football program at Oak Hill, and I think a lot of people are excited about that. Todd Compston, our sports editor, has contacted him, and we're working on a kind of an in-depth story where, we pick Weston's brain about his decision to do this. Obviously, I believe he'll be stepping down as the girls' coach after this season because the way sports have evolved, Jennifer, I think you're aware of this, it has become almost a year-round thing
Yes,
where,
they have.
you train, physical fitness, practice, AAU games against, that are not official games, but, when you're an athlete now or a coach, it is not just a seasonal job anymore. That's just what it takes to succeed. That's the standard. And so Weston is going to be the new Oak Hill Oaks football coach. We're running out of time, but I do want to remind you about a couple other things. Remember that the pre-1898 indoor trade fair will happen. And we'll go on.
Of course.
All right. I know that they fight the weather all the time. And
If it's going to be bad weather, it's this weekend.
and Cantor's Cave is beautiful, but it's not exactly right off the highway.
Right.
You wind your way back there on a narrow road. But I'm sure that they will have the facility ready, have the roads cleared and all. And that is just
They'll
not
be
a
there.
local thing. That is a regional thing.
Yeah.
That the Sons of Liberty muzzle loaders group organizes, and it is, if you've never been there, you step into that room when this is going on Saturday and Sunday in the main lodge, and it's like stepping into a time warp. They're all in period dress.
Super cool.
And they have a lot of what you would call things that you don't find at the big department stores.
You are not kidding about that.
Right. As a matter of fact, what kind of things do they have? Things from the 18th and 19th centuries. That's why they called it the pre-1898. period clothing, glassware, candle lanterns, tomahawks, knives, flintlocks, firearms, leather goods, books, powder horns, and much more. And the cafeteria will be open out there, so they'll feed you as well.
That's
the
right.
hours for this, Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 on Sunday. Admission is only $5.
Exactly.
That'll get you in there, and then you can decide what you want to walk away with.
And bring the kids too. And I think kids 12 and under are free. So bring the kids, they'll have a blast.
Right. I don't know whether we've had this on the TV before. Have you had guests from the Herds of Hope on TV before?
We have, yes.
Well, they have an important announcement that they made this week. They were going to have one of their big events, the Snowflake Ball,
Yes.
on January the 24th, which is a week from this Saturday. They have postponed that now and rescheduled to Saturday, March the 14th. And
Okay.
the Snowflake Ball, it is a big deal. It's going to be at the Wagon Wheelers Hall. They have a nice dinner, and they have a dance, of course. And it is a fundraiser for what Herds of Hope does. And so wanted to let you know, we'll be talking more about that later. Maybe, we'll have a guest here on Main Street TV. But the date for their Snowflake Ball postponed from the 24th of January to Saturday, March the 14th.
Love that.
Right. And of course, as we said at the top of our report here, lots of basketball tonight, including the Jackson Ironmen hosting the Chillicothe Cavaliers. And remember, our radio stations, which cover games far outside of Jackson and Vinton counties. We're a big radio family now. A lot of games, if you go out here and look at the board, so many games listed on there that we're covering, and some of them we're even streaming. And so, check your social media and to see the game that you're most interested in, or you can do some surfing and try to keep up with all of them.
You got it.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Pete, so much, and good luck tonight. Have a blast.
All right. It's always fun. And in addition to a great basketball game, they serve some of the best popcorn there.
There you go. Can't beat that.
A big bag for either $2 or $1, depending on who's selling it.
Aha.
Right.
All right. Well, there you go. Can't beat that. Well, have a great day, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Some snow in and out of the forecast all weekend long. Some brutally cold temperatures in the forecast at the beginning of the week. So we have that to look forward to, even talking about in the negatives. So I could leave that, but
Why did you have to tell me that?
hey,
We'll have to check the closet for the flannel shirts.
that's exactly right.
Yeah, anytime we're below 20, that becomes acceptable.
The flannel shirts
Acceptable clothing, work clothing.
That's where my sweatshirt came out today.
Okay, I understand.
Ooh.
I understand.
All right. Well, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Be safe, and we want to see you right back here on Monday. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.